Oh, hi! Second part of the threefer. So last week we talked about Tiger and Bunny. Now I have them back with me. So if you remember, these are our Tiger and Barnaby Brooks. This is actually the newer version, um, closer to the ones that we got from Netflix. So this is Tiger and Bunny 2, new version. So remember that I told you that I have the original version, the first release, and we will going to be doing a quick comparison for them. So first off, this is what they look like. The Tiger and Bunny original version. Immediately, if you're gonna be looking at it, a lot thicker. So let's put them alternately so that we can see the difference better. So as you can see, for Wild Tiger, packaging itself is already a bit thicker. In terms of the look, still basically the same. It's still the same, pretty much the same. They do have the same, almost the same style of product photography, as you can see. Put them together. The older one is thicker, and so with Barnaby Brooks. So you can see it here. So pretty similar. The back, and putting them together. See that? So you can see that the older version is a lot thicker than the newer version. Remember when I told you that these were the figures that had metal legs, which is why metal feet actually, which is why it's you have to be very very careful with this because over time it will degrade and the hips will break. So let's check them out. Let's start with Wild Tiger first, so that since I don't know, since it's actually his show really. So first off, this is the old version. So first off, and we'll also open Wild Tiger, the newer version. So okay, right off the bat, scaling. All right. So actually, in terms of the scale wise, the old version is on a smaller, well, a little bit of a narrower scale than the newer version. Next, the new version doesn't really have much in terms of in terms of value. What I say, value or extra. The only thing extra that they have, since this does not have faceplate, is the extra head. For the original version though, look at this. It has the figure, which actually has a lot less arms, a lot less hands. It only has two pairs of hands. But big but is that it includes a stand. It includes a stand and an action base. So that's one value there. Second, it includes the extra hand. Now, what is it? It is this gimmick, wherein you can remove the forearm and then put this in, which is his power, which is basically his other hand gets big and punches it in. And on top of that, you get to have parts of the double chaser, which is his vehicle. So in terms of value, that's a mighty lot of value, right? Now, we're gonna be taking the figure off. We just have to be very very careful because, like I said, remember this has metal feet. And it's gonna be very very. It might break. So this is. All right. As you can see, as I told you, these are metal. These are metal legs. As you can see, there's significant weight to it. Technically, almost all of the SH Figure Arts figures, the first batch of these all had metal feet. You can if you see it, you can actually feel the weight in it, and the feet is metal. I guess they do it for stability, but the problem is if you keep posing it, and over time, if you don't handle it properly, the joints are really gonna break. But look at it. It's actually pretty nice. In terms of sculpt wise, it's great. It's always great. Articulation's great, but the thing is, it's the metal feet. That's also the reason why I don't really buy figures with metal feet. Um, I've ruined enough. I have had enough figures break on me, and this is why I'm also trying my best not to really move this that much. Now, this is the figure, the new version. As you can see, it's pretty similar, but the scaling is a bit off. This has like a, I guess I would say it's a smaller scale in terms of size. But look at this figure; it's basically the same. It does have a bit more sculpting, but the thing here is that you will see later when we do the double chaser that this is the scale that's needed for the vehicle. This is a little bit too big. So then we move on to Barnaby Brooks. So I have to be very careful with this. I don't want this to break on you guys. So Barnaby Brooks is basically the same with regards to the figure being a lot thicker. But for Barnaby Brooks, like I said, value, it also includes action stand and the base. And this is what Barnaby Brooks looks like. Now, it doesn't, unlike Wild Tiger, it only has an extra pair of hands, so that's only two. Now, with this gimmick, you can actually remove one of the legs and replace it with this one, the right leg, to the big hit, because its actually power is kicking. Now, one thing also with the type of plastic used, this actually gets sticky. So that's also one thing that's also one of the drawbacks to the older figures. They do get sticky over time. I think it's the style of plastic, but you can just wipe it out. But since I haven't used this in quite a while, it did get sticky already. But for the rest, it's still good. And the figure. Oh, it also includes another I would say forearm forearm guard, which also has a company in it. And this is the figure. Actually, unlike Wild Tiger, this is a lot more stable, but it still has the metal feet, I guess, for the stability. As you can see, you can drop it at any angle. That's the thing with metal feet. It really provides stability. So you can drop it at any angle. You can drop it this way. It stands perfectly. Just like Wild Tiger. You can just drop him. It doesn't shake. It won't. It'll just shift the weight shift to see. It doesn't fall. While we have the normal version, it's if you drop him, there's a little bit of uncertainty. This actually really have to like really stand it up or put it on an angle for it to do. But if you just drop it, it's a lot more unstable. So I guess that's what they're looking for the feet. But then again, it hurts in the long run. Like this one, maybe if I don't handle this correctly, the joints, the hip joints gonna give. So you have to be for guys who are buying older figures, older SH Figure Arts figures. First off, detail is great. The detail is amazing, as always. So like for Barnaby Brooks, you have that small sticker there as well. The detail sculpt always amazing. It's just that we have to be careful with the legs. So if I were you, don't put them in too much of a dynamic pose. As much as possible, post them where their feet are planted. Where they can plant their feet so that they can stand properly. While there are times that it actually fits. Like this is perfect because the legs are a lot thinner, so it works with the feet, but then again, you always have to be careful. Now, the thing here is that the big disappointment with it is that is because of the scale. The scale has changed, and unfortunately, the scale for vehicles, it needs to be on that scale. So as a comparative analysis, or to compare Barnaby Brooks with the new and the old version. So it's a lot more similar, but in terms of scale, like the hero, this I would say that this is more like a hero scale if you're familiar with Warhammer. So because the head's a little bit bigger, the size is just the same, but the thing is the legs, limbs a lot bigger. So this is the newer version. If you're just gonna maybe get, like I said, if you're going to be really into posability and to really play with it, I suggest getting the new ones. Get these new ones. But if you like the figure, if you like the character, and you'd like them to like really just stand them up and keep, I would still suggest the OG. Um, there's a different appeal to it. There's a different appeal to the OG, which I think would still very nostalgic and still good. It's just that the metal legs, the metal feet. I mean, it's a big turn off for me because I've broken more than my share of figures because of this. But then again, these are still good figures. I mean, these are vintage. I would say these are pretty vintage. These really quite old, but these are one of the. But for the metal feet type figures, this is actually one of the. I would say this might be one of the best in the metal feet line. The Iron Man Mark IV is also good, but I would say this is the best in terms of the way the way it looks. Looks so badass. Especially Wild Tiger looks so deadly, right? So in terms of everything else, it's great. It's really great, but it's just that metal feet. So if you like it, or if you're really a fan, well, I like the series. I like the premise, but if you feel that it's having 4 figures is a little bit too much, well, if you're going to choose, well, uh, if you're gonna keep it again, if you're gonna be keeping it, I still suggest the OG ones, but it's just that you just have to expect that sooner or later it's gonna break on you. It's really gonna break on you. Well, if you like playing with your figures, like really posing them up, the new one's fine. The new one's fine because as you can see, there are differences. It does look different. See, it does look different. This still has a smaller scale, like a smaller scale, which for me looks a lot better if you're gonna be posing it and looking up. But if you're like moving stuff, or I guess a bargain bin version, or not really bargain. If you're something that really would like to pose it up, I'd get this. And the price I paid is a lot cheaper. I got this really, really cheap. The retail's a lot cheaper than this. So, well, it's up to you. It's going to be your choice if you like it. But this is Wild Tiger and Barnaby Brooks. I'm lucky that I was able to get both. But again, it's up to your choice if what you'd get. If you like something more of a really, I would say more of a nicer scale, I would still choose this. But again, metal feet. But if you really like to play with it, like really go pose it and bigger scale, get this. But well, personally, I still rather I'd still keep at least get one. So up to you. Actually, it's your choice. But I would say that both figures are solid. Articulation is top notch. Sculpt, of course, is great. Subtle differences, but very negligible. It both fit the concept. As you can see, there's already different For Wild Tiger, there's actually different sponsors, SoftBank here and then Lawson. So, but for value, in terms of value, I'm gonna go with OG. First off, they have the extra bits, the the extra gimmicks. Second, they even add stand and base, right? Action base. So that alone is going to really work for you already in terms of value. So if you're going to be looking, it's up to you anymore. If you'd like to post something postable, something cheaper, the whole package, this. Right. So there. So basically, it's just there. I just would like to show you the difference because I would say it's pretty significant. Especially since with the newer version, I would say it's the cheaper version compared to how they used to do SH Figure Arts. So our next video, we're gonna be sharing their vehicle, the Double Chaser, and stay tuned for that.